Best case scenario, the dinner table is where your family can gather and feast and feel free to be around the people who love them the most. But in some cases, the dinner table is downright toxic. It is where words are weapons and old wounds are opened up. And in this video, I wanted to talk with you about how you can prepare for a Thanksgiving where the food tastes heavenly and where you're able to be honest and honoring of yourself through the whole thing. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am the family dynamics consultant and retired pediatrician who will tell you the truth about motherhood. And I'm the mom friend who will share it with love so it all goes down a little bit easier. And yeah, Thanksgiving is coming up. It's right around the corner. And in case you're wondering why I have short sleeves on, I'm recording this the week before Thanksgiving. And here, where I live in Texas, it is 82 degrees. Yeah, in November. So, anyway, that explains that. But yeah, how do we get ready for Thanksgiving where you really know it's all about food and family? And both of those can be very overwhelming. Let me tackle the food part first because I think that's the easiest one to get out of the way. And sometimes the food stuff helps make the family interaction stuff even more complicated. So let's just get that out of the way. When it comes to what you're going to prepare for Thanksgiving, cook what you love. Cook what you love. If it's at your house, cook what you love. Because when you cook something with love, you taste it. That food tastes real good. When you're cooking stuff because grandma always cooked it and it needs to be on the table, or your mom wants this and cousin so and so wants that, when it's a demand, it's not tasty. But when it's something you love and you can cook it from your heart, the love is in the food and people will enjoy it. And that's what Thanksgiving is about. It's getting around the table, being thankful for the bounty on the table and for the people that you get to share it with, even if some of those people are prickly. We'll get to that in a minute. But cook what you love. And then I know what you're saying. But Vanessa, what if somebody comes and they're like, how come you don't have such and such? What you do is, by now you have already decided what you're going to have. And who all is coming, you let them know what is on your menu. And when they say, but Diane, how come you don't have blah, blah, blah? Or like in my case, Vanessa, how come you're not serving turkey? Because I don't like turkey. I don't like, I mean, I can have a sandwich that has like sliced deli turkey in it, but I'm not having turkey at Thanksgiving. I'm just not. I don't like it. So the response to that is, oh no, that's the menu. But if you feel like it's not Thanksgiving unless you have turkey, feel free to bring your turkey breast from that turkey that you made and slice that thing up to come and share with the rest of us. Or if you feel you need to have fill in the blank for it to be Thanksgiving for you, make some of that and bring it to share with the rest of us because I want you to enjoy Thanksgiving at my home, but this is the menu that I am preparing. That way, people get to feel like, and it's one thing, you're not bringing many things, it's one thing. That way, they get to feel like they have had Thanksgiving even though they're not at home. One, two, if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. Three, whatever is left over in case everybody else doesn't like it either gets to go home with the person who brought it. And everybody's happy. Everybody has had food that they like. And then if nobody else liked it, they get to take it home and have it again at home. So that's what we're going to do about the food. We're not going to get all excited and have 50 million dishes unless that's your thing. If it is your thing to feel like you're the queen of Thanksgiving and that everybody can come and everybody will have something they love to eat and you prepared it, if that's how you get down, great, do that. But if this is a stressor for you that is sucking the joy out of Thanksgiving, let's not do that. That's not what it's about. Make the menu that you would love to prepare, and anyone else who wants something different, who's coming over for dinner, gets to bring that with them if they absolutely must have it. That special thing, that's their thing that they must have, they get to bring it. And we get to experience it if we choose to. And if we don't, they take it back home. So let's get to the family part, because that's the sticky, tricky part. That's the first thing you do. You just take a deep breath and just honor the fact that it's complicated, right? Not all of us grew up in the Cosby Show family, although that's probably not a good reference now. But that's the TV family that I grew up watching and and learned so much from. As well, if you see my videos, you know my background. But anyway, you see family that pick your favorite television show that had a family that functioned well. You watched it and you're wanting that and you wish you had that, but that's not how your family functions. Welcome to the real world. Most of us do not have a TV sitcom kind of family, and it's okay. It's okay. What we have to do before I say anything else about how to handle the family gathering piece of Thanksgiving is you have to be a decisive person. Excuse me. You have to decide that what I do, how I do it, because a lot of the things that are going to come up, you already know what they are and you're dreading it. That's why you're dreading the whole thing, because you already know what the topics are going to be. So there's not really a lot of things that are going to be surprising. These are the why haven't you had children yet? Why do you raise your children the way you do? How come y'all don't have more money? These are the topics that are common at the Thanksgiving table. So you know what the topic is going to be. What you need to do in advance is decide this is how I have approached this situation. Whatever the situation is, it's going to be the topic of potential contention. This is how I have approached this. This is how my husband and I have decided about this. This is how I and the father of my children have decided about this. This is how we do what we do. And and I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I don't need everyone else to support it, because here's the thing, the difference between a decision and a choice. Choices are very communal in nature. We want people to support the choice that we've made. When it's a choice, right? There's some, I could have done this, I could have done that, but I chose this. But this is still there on my mind. Should I have chosen that? And so when people support, then you have more confidence in it. Then you feel good about it. And so choices are communal. Hey, Mama Bears, I'm hosting a live here on YouTube for any of you who have questions about motherhood or how to help your family function better. You can scan the QR code or click the link below to join me. Any other information you need is on the screen, and I look forward to seeing you there. A decision is very internal. It is, I have weighed the pros and the cons. I've gotten some counsel, I've read some books, I Googled, whatever the things, but I decide. It's personal. It's not like a poll that I take. I might take a poll for a choice, but when it's a decision, that's it. That's what I'm doing. Um, Everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to agree with it because it's not everybody's decision to make. They don't have the same circumstances. They don't have the same information I was privy to. They don't have the same background. There's so many things. And so when you make a decision, that's it. And I need you to make a decision that the way that I'm doing life at the moment is what I've decided. Now, if it's not a decision, then that explains why you get thrown off when people make comments that you don't like, because you don't even feel confident about what you're doing. But when you have made a decision, it is what it is. I get that you don't get it, but you won't have to get over it because this is what I've decided. So that's the groundwork. We have to have made decisions that we feel good about, that we stand behind, we have thought through, we have our reasons, and this is what I'm doing until there's other information that I come across that warrants me to make another decision, a different decision. Okay, so we're going to be decisive. Got to be decisive. So here's what's going to happen, or what might happen, or what has happened before. Uh, is people do one of two things at the table. They make comments or they ask questions. We cannot control either. You cannot control whether or not your auntie is going to ask you a question about fill in the blank that you don't feel like talking about. You cannot control that your mama is going to have a comment about fill in the blank, something that you don't want to talk about. What you can control is whether or not you will respond and how you will respond. When it comes to comments, unless somebody's giving me a compliment, I'm talking about Thanksgiving. I'm talking about an environment where I'm anticipating foolishness. I'm anticipating some uncle, some in law, some something saying something that I do not want to entertain. We've been around this mountain before. I'm not interested in going around it again. I want to enjoy my food. So if it's that kind of situation, it's not a compliment, it's just a comment that someone is making. I don't respond to the comment. Because if it's not a compliment, in that kind of situation, and that Thanksgiving, multiple massive people situation, people who have not been around each other a whole lot, maybe throughout the year, and now we're all coming together. Like in that kind of situation, if it's not a compliment, that comment is typically inflammatory. It's typically something that if I respond or it was intended to tick me off. And if that's the intent, it wasn't a compliment, it's just a statement to try to get something set off, I'm not going to respond to that. It is as if you just didn't even say that to me. Now, questions are different. Questions can also be inflammatory. You can be passive aggressive and ask a question, about things you already know the answer to, or as your passive aggressive way of bringing up a topic that you don't have the courage to bring up directly. You can have questions be inflammatory, but questions can also be genuinely inquisitive. People can just be curious. I've been thinking about this. I don't really understand why you do what you do. Can you explain? So err on giving them the benefit of the doubt if it's a genuine question. If it's a question, whether you think it's genuine or not, if somebody asks a question, answer the question. But I'm going to tell you how to answer the question. Before you respond, before you answer the question, ask for clarification. Simply ask, what do you mean? That does a few things. One, it keeps you from reacting. It keeps you from the clapback. It keeps you from the back chat, as West Indians would say. It keeps you from that. It keeps you from just spewing back. It gives you a moment and it gives them the honor of clarifying. Because some people, especially just some people are better at asking questions than others. They are clearer, they get to the point, they're not timid and they ask it this way, but they really mean that. Or, some people don't know vocabulary and they're using the word the wrong way. Ask for what do you mean? What do you mean? Respond with curiosity. Curiosity is a welcoming posture. They're asking a question. Okay, be curious back. What do you mean? It also prevents you from assuming anything. You might think because of encounters you've had with them before, you might be like, oh, I know why she's asking me that question. Let's not do that. What do you mean? Let her tell you why she's asking the question. Let her explain it more. If she's going to say something that's going to make her look like a jerk, give her the rope to do that. But if she can genuinely explain it better so that you're answering her question accurately, and now because you're giving her time to explain or him time to explain, you are calming down, because initially that kind of question before, you would have had something real quick to say back, but you're trying something new because you've watched this video. And so you say, what do you mean? And then they explain what they mean. So you can get to know their why, you can get to know the genuineness of the question. You just get to know what you're working with before you respond, because you've also given yourself time to chill. And then you're going to respond in a way that allows you to feel at home in your own skin. Vanessa, what do you mean by that? I mean, Thanksgiving is a time where the conversations can really get you out of character, depending on who is talking to you, what the topic is, who's around when they're saying it. You can really respond in a way that is totally outside of what you would like to, like when you think of yourself, or when the moment is over and you review it and you're like, that is not how I like to show up in the world. So you want to respond in a way where you feel like yourself. I'm answering you in a way that honors who I am, and I feel at home in my own skin. You have not thrown me off. You have not made me feel crazy within myself. You have not, I'm not boiling on the inside. I feel at home in my own skin. I'm comfortable. I'm ready to respond to you, and I'm comfortable. I have gotten clarification about what you're asking. I have a better idea of what your motive was. Are you genuinely curious, or are you trying to be shady? I understand why you're asking. I am now composed, and I'm ready to answer you in a way where I feel at home in my skin. Home is an acronym. So HOME. Let's walk through it. Answer in a way that's honest. Be honest. You are living this one life that you have. And there is no person, if you are grown, there is no person walking this earth that you should be afraid of. Where you're trying to make up something that you think might sound good to them. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. They're asking a question and you're answering it. Answer it honestly. O is for own your decision. Remember, I talked about how we have to make decisions. Well, you have made a decision, and in this conversation that you're having with them, you're deciding also to own that decision. And so you communicate that as you share honestly in your answer. M is for mentioning that you understand their disappointment, or the disconnect that they're having with what you're saying. Like, what you're saying makes complete sense to you, but you can see on their face, and because they've asked the question, it does not make sense to them. And even if they've heard, after they've heard your honest response, where you have owned your decision and given some explanation about why you do what you do, they are still befuddled. Uh, Mention that. Mention that you recognize that. And the E is for empathy. Empathize with the difficulty that they are having. It is their difficulty. It is not yours, because you have decided what they're questioning. You have already decided about. You're good with, but they're confused. And end with empathizing with their difficulty. So if the topic is Diane, and if your name is Diane, I'm just using that name. Didn't mean nothing. Diane, why haven't you started having a family? When am I going to have some grandbabies? Maybe it's your mother-in-law that asked that question. So then you answer, hey, it's editor Vanessa here, jumping in with the first part of the response to the question, right? Before we answer the question, staying at home in our own skin, the first way we answer the mother in law or whoever is asking the question is we say, what do you mean? Now, it's kind of obvious with that question what she meant. Like, she literally means, like, when am I going to get some grandchildren? But I mean, give her a moment to elaborate, see where she's coming from. See if she just is having an anxious mother-in-law moment, an anxious wannabe grandmother moment, or if she's really trying to come for you and be nasty. So, we just say, what do you mean, first, to give her an opportunity to elaborate and to give you a moment to calm down. Because it might be a hot button topic. You may be getting asked every time you turn around, when are you going to start having children? And this is not the time or the place where you want to hear that question, but it's the time and the place that people normally ask that question. And so we want to start with, what do you mean? Honestly, maybe the honest answer is we decided, your son and I decided that we are going to wait X number of years before we start having children, or we're going to wait until we are more settled. Whatever your rationale is, whatever you all have decided, we decided that we wanted to do mission trips for 2 years before we start having children. We don't want to drag a baby around the world. And so that's what we are waiting on. Whatever it is, right? Respond honestly. And then own that decision. This is what we're doing, and that works for us for right now. Um, and if you want to elaborate on that anymore, you can, but you don't need to. You just make it clear. You explained why, you gave an honest explanation. It's not an explanation for their affirmation or their confirmation, it's just explanation. And then, and we're good with that right now. And then you say, but I understand why it's frustrating for you. Uh, maybe in this scenario, he's her only child, and she is thinking about, she's getting older and she wants to be able, to be alive when this grandchild comes and enjoy them and all the things that she has imagined and hoped for in her mind. And so you acknowledge that. I understand that you're looking forward to grandchildren, and it's something you've looked forward to for a long time. And now that we're married, you were hoping that we would get this show on the road, but we're just going to be waiting until fill in the blank. um, but we're excited that you're excited about the future of that happening, however you want to spin it. And then you close with empathy. But I understand that it's a challenge. I'm sure, maybe she has a sister who has a bunch of grandchildren, and so you can say, Aunt so and so has all these grandchildren, and you're hearing about her grandbabies and all the stuff she's able to do with them. And so I can really understand how frustrating that would be. I understand. Notice I did not apologize, because you shouldn't apologize. You can empathize, you can recognize the difficulty somebody's having with a situation, you can answer them honestly, you can share your decision making process, and you can do all of that without apologizing. Because why would we be apologizing? They're asking a question about your life, and you have explained it, and it's your life, and they're connected to you, and so they care about your life, and your decisions can impact them in a way, for sure, because you're family. But ultimately, the point of the conversation and the point of family is connection. And so for you to be able to answer in a way that doesn't feed any kind of animosity or make things real tense at a time when family is gathering and coming together to enjoy each other, but you can still honor yourself and honor the woman that you are by sharing your rationale, owning it, and giving them the grace, extending them the grace to say, but I understand that that's difficult for you. I understand it doesn't make sense to you right now. I understand that because you're not in our position, you wouldn't do what we're doing. And so I understand that, and I feel you that it's really difficult. So that's how you do it. You respond in a way where you're at home in your own skin after you've asked that clarifying question, what do you mean? And after you have embraced the fact that this is the decision that I've made, that people have tended to question in my family, and it has me to the point where I'm not even looking forward to the gathering. But this is the year where I'm going to answer honestly, owning my decision, mentioning that I understand the difficulty that they're having in appreciating my decision, and empathizing with the challenges that they experience because of that. and that's it. If they are going to go on and but and try to come at it another way, I don't have anything else to add. So that's the answer to that. If they keep going around that mountain because they weren't satisfied with that answer, or because they're looking for uh, some kind of tension, some people, the tension, because they have lost the connection, they've lost the opportunity to connect with you, so they'll settle for the tension, and they're looking forward to the tension because that's really all that you have left is the tense exchange. And when you refuse to give them that, now they don't know what to do because that's all they've had. What you're introducing them to in using staying at home, being at home in your own skin, is offering them another way to connect with you, where it's we can empathize with each other even if we don't like what we're talking about, what we have decided. We can empathize with the challenge that we have. I don't like your decision. Okay, I empathize. I understand that you don't like it. I feel for you. I mean, there's certainly been decisions people have made that I haven't liked, so I get it. Empathy. If after you've given them empathy, they still want to be angry or they still want to be contentious, that's a person you have to leave to that. There's nothing else to say to that because they have an internal conflict that they're trying to make external because they have refused to deal with it internally. You have responded in a way that offered them an olive branch, an olive branch that lets them look at themselves. You've given them empathy because you've acknowledged that they're conflicted about something. And even after I've given them this answer, they're still conflicted. They're still frustrated. And you left the conversation in a way that they can sit with that. You've acknowledged it, and so now they have an opportunity to acknowledge it. If they refuse to receive that empathy, to acknowledge that, yes, this is a difficulty that I am having, but she's been kind enough to empathize with me on that. If they don't want that, you can't force that, but there's nothing else to say about it because you've made a decision, you've discussed it, you've shared it. You didn't owe them that, but you've given them that. You've given, given, given. If that's not enough for them, there's nothing else need be said. And that's what you tell them. I don't have anything else to say about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep enjoying my dinner. And that's that. People can't argue with somebody who refuses to argue. Maybe they'll just start talking to themselves, or they'll go start talking to somebody else or making comments to someone else. But we're not concerned about comments because we've already decided we're not responding to comments. So if they walk off and they're making comments to everybody about, I can't believe, there's nothing for you to respond to. Those are comments. You're open to questions. You're open to questions. You're open to exploring questions and the genuineness of questions, and genuine or not, you're open to answering a question on the supposition that it's genuine and as an opportunity to reconnect in a positive way. And whoever wants that, you offer it, and whoever doesn't, okay, but there's nothing else that you need to explain. There's no approval that you need. Now, we all want, especially if it comes to our mothers and fathers, we want our parents to be proud of us. I want my parents to be proud of me. But my parents did not understand why, after medical school and 2 residencies, I turned around and stayed home to take care of my children. They did not understand that. And my dad expressed his disappointment. But I had made a decision. And so that was that. There was nothing for me to, I had already explained it. I'd already told them how God called me to do it and how it has made sense after the fact that I did it with all of the moving we were doing as a military family. I did the whole thing. They didn't understand it, and why would they? Neither of them are physicians. Neither of them are the ones who they didn't they didn't give up what I gave up. I'm the one who gave up what I did to become a mom who invested in her own children to that degree. So of course they wouldn't understand it. It's nothing that had been done in our family before. Um, it was new to me too, so I don't expect them to understand it. But I had made a decision. Now, since then, it hasn't been brought up again. But if it was brought up again, what I would say is what I told you to say. Oh, I don't have anything else to say about that. But I just happened to grow up, as dysfunctional as my family growing up was in some ways. One thing that we are champions of is facing something head on. You want to question me about something, I have an answer for you. You may not like it, but you can't say that you didn't know why I did what I did because you asked me and I told you. And that's that on that. I think you're good. If you do that, if you decide that your decisions are sufficient because you have thought them through and that whoever has issue with it is welcome to question you, but I'm going to take a beat by asking you what you mean by the question, and then I'm going to respond in a way that helps me stay at home in my own skin. If you do that, your food will taste real good. Whatever your plate is on your plate at Thanksgiving will taste real good. And you'll feel good about yourself too. And you'll be able to enjoy the people around your table. Well, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And until next time, please remember that when it comes to you being the mother of your children, you are the woman for the job. Take care.